Howdy everyone, and welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be designing the dungeon. This will be the first dungeon in the game. Let me pull the game up right quick, would probably help. How are y'all doing? Hope y'all doing alright. So yes, we want to do the first dungeon. So we have the town, we have the forest in between the dungeon. Well, we have the idea for the forest. And so we want to create something that's deeper into the forest. It's going to be like a shrine, probably. Or an ancient temple, something like that, that is going to hold someone important that the skeleton army is marching towards, and you have to sort of get there before they do. So that's the general idea for today. We'll be designing things like the look of the dungeon, maybe any mechanics that might go into it, traps, anything like that. So this is my first time watching one of your streams. Love the work so far. Well, thank you for coming. Let's see, yeah, this just started. So we're going to do that. We'll be doing some drawing and I think mostly going to be a lot of design stuff today. Mock-ups. There was someone that said earlier that the streams are not canon. I should clarify that because they might be canon. Like, the purpose of these streams is to design the game, but anything is subject to change. Just a little disclaimer, like in case someone's watching a stream but like, that's canon. No, it's just like, this is the part of the design process. It may become canon. We don't know until once we've done everything, you know. Alright, so yes. So we have the town here. Like, this may not be for this example, this may not be the layout of the town, but the general idea is that we leave the town, run up here, go to the forest, and then we go into this probably like a shrine or something like that. The game is looking so good right now. Can't wait for the release, well, thank you. Alright, so let's take a look. Let me pull up the Trello as well, so we can get an idea of what we're doing. I've not put a lot of the thought into the dungeon, so this will be really off the cuff, you know, just a sort of free-flowing stream this time. I do have a few dungeon mechanics in a card, though. If we look here. Now, these are just things that I've like these are just ideas to sort of get the ball rolling. Like maybe I played a game and I seen something, I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, so we could probably throw that in there. So like, for example, locked doors, you know, very obvious. Spikes and pitfalls, your basic stuff. So, but that's for later on in the stream. Right now we want to get sort of the visual feel of the stream. Like what should we expect in this dungeon? It's not going to be a big dungeon. This is the dungeon for the demo. And so I expect it to, you know, nothing that would require too much gameplay. I'm thinking the demo would probably be about a 20-minute demo. So a little bit for the story, then off to the dungeon and whatever. Can you add a Teddy enemy, please? Teddy will be, I'm assuming you mean like Paul Bearer. He will be a pet. Or one of them. How did you make the melee combat? I really like the melee combat. It looks awesome. I'm assuming you mean the weapon swinging. What if he was a boss? No, Teddy is not going to be a boss. He just got here. I was like, you're fine. We're just now getting started. Just sort of me discussing the plans for today. If I don't think we'll have time, so never mind. Are you going to stream on YouTube only, or are you going to stream on Twitch too? Just asking so I can watch out for your streams. Only on YouTube. I did Twitch for like a week, and I just prefer YouTube. A lot more interaction with y'all, more chances for us to sort of do everything at one time, and I don't have to grow two different communities. So, what I want to do, let's go into the forest, because this dungeon is going to be inside the forest, so it's going to have a lot of the forest elements, just with some tweaks to it, some extra things. Like I said, probably a little ruiny, like ruins or temple or something like that. So it's probably gonna have some structures extra to go with it. Maybe some overgrowth, that kind of thing. Like it's not kept well. Like it's just sort of nestled into the back. Nobody really pays it that much attention. I have an idea for an enemy, a tree that spawns seedlings. What do the seedlings do? And we will be talking about enemies as well today. We want enemies for the dungeon, so we'll have to, you know, we'll try to talk about enemies today. But we want enemies for the dungeon, so that's also, you know, anything dungeon related is what we're going to be trying to talk about today. So I don't have transitions from here, so that's why I'm doing it this way. You'll notice I went up to the town earlier. We'll probably, when you go up towards that little town area, you'll probably pop up here. Let me get rid of these right quick. I should probably have these ignore me, but yeah. And you'll pop up this little area here. And then, you know, you'll run through the forest, fight some things. Probably about 2 or 3 of these areas right here, where you're just running through the forest, you know, learning your abilities, gaining levels. Oh, not gaining. Well, you'll probably gain a couple levels during the demo. Maybe an area up here or a branch down here. And then we'll run into the dungeon. So it's just deep into the forest. So we will look for a good shot for us to sort of get a baseline. Actually, I have, I'm going to put borderless on so that I can get a better view. Well, no. I have this. I have this setting specifically for getting pixel perfect screen caps, so, and I still need to go into window mode. So just border that. Let's see. What if after a set amount of time you don't take care of the seeds that will spawn into new enemies like a sproutling? That's an interesting idea. Oh, another way we could play that. I haven't implemented it yet. The sproutlings, you know, they just shoot seeds, are very basic, but that's not what their full intention is. It's just I haven't implemented it yet. The sproutlings, if you get close to them, they'll run away and then plant themselves and to grow into a tree. So we could probably play off of that, and the tree will maybe grow more sproutlings. We'll have to cap that somehow. That's a really good idea. Anything with working with you? That's a different conversation. That's kind of cool. Well, thank you. I think it's a nice idea. I think it'll make the sprout interesting because they are very basic right now. Okay. The sproutling, yeah. How about buying certain lander houses? Yeah, we talked about plots in the devlog, and so you'll probably be able to purchase some or unlock them through quests. Oh, I also need to show you this thing here. Give me 1 second. I'll show that off. I just need to grab a quick screen cap so we can get some work. And this will be sort of, we're going to expand upon this, the design, because it'll be, like I said, further into the forest. So let's copy that. And I want to show you, I want to get y'all's opinion on this. It's not, let's go ahead and, no, let's not do that. All right, so you can see I changed the parallax here. What do y'all think of this? It's still in the works. I think it's a little too thin. I'm using a sort of auto tile thing here, but I feel like it's too thin. I'm wanting to do something more like, oh, and I closed it. Let me, I think it's this one. Yes, something more like this, a little thicker, but I won't be able to auto tile it like I have it here. But I think it'll look nice. So yeah, because the more I look at the black thing, like the black leaves, you know, it's meh. It was a placeholder. It's just a really quick thing I did, but I didn't want to keep it permanently. So there's that. So let me know what y'all think, and then we'll get to work sort of sketching some things out. I think I copied this. All right. So this will be, still not sure how I want to do it. Part of me still wants to do this like not really an interior, maybe an exterior that you sort of, like you don't go into a dungeon. Probably just some exterior elements. We'll sort of, you know, do the overgrowth idea, but we still want a good transition. We still want it to be like, oh, I've entered a type of area. Do you think to add some mines? You could add miners as enemies. We could do some kind of mines. I would want it to be interesting though. Like mines are very, very common. The parallax is pretty nice, but thank you. Let's see. Remember the guy who threatened to eat the pig? Yeah, I do remember that guy. That icon of yours is very familiar. Let's see. Is this a swamp, a castle, an epic underground city? This will be sort of a ruins, sort of shrine-like area. We'll probably do some pillars, maybe some archways, you know, just sort of stone structures. Maybe. I'm still not exactly how I want to do this. The mushroom cave, that can be a good cave. I would like to do some mushroomy things. In fact, I would like for it to be a major element. I have some ideas for mushroom enemies that I would like to implement. Maybe it could be its own little subplot. The temple for forest god. We have a story for it already that y'all will get to see in the demo. I'm gonna keep it secret for now, a little shush, but we have a story planned out for what this temple does. We just need to draw it. It's an old temple that holds someone important. That's all we need to know. To be honest, I think the skeleton fits better in dungeons instead of wandering around in the daylight. I think goblins or zombies will probably fit it. Well, see, the skeletons are a big part of this game. Like, skeletons will be the major enemy that you get, and there will be a day-night cycle, probably, in this game. So, there will be skeletons in the daytime, probably, because if you could imagine, well, I mean, unless we do every story element quest inside, which I don't really want to do. Yeah. How about a spirit that mimics other enemies? What would... It's an interesting idea. Let's see. A lot of y'all want Teddy as a boss. Sorry, I'm unfamiliar with the plot. Yeah, well, it's not because you're new. It's because I'm keeping it hidden. I'm not revealing too much about the plot right now. There's I have some people that I'm working with to help develop the plot, and there's only a few of us. So you're not alone, bud. Will mushrooms inflict poison? We could do a poison thing. Imagine having enemies reanimated skeletons where they died at night. Well, that's actually really cool. I mean, I would have to make a skeletal version of every enemy, or every enemy that could reanimate. But that's a really interesting idea. I'm going to jot that down as a note. It's something fun that we could play with. Oh, my mouse is too sensitive. I like that idea a lot. There's a lot of fun that could be had. Granted, I don't think the player will notice it, because they would have to hang around for that to happen. And unless it happens immediately, like they kill an enemy, it turns nighttime, and then the enemy revives. At which point that would probably be frustrating. So, but it's still an interesting concept. Can you share the Trello board? No, because it's got a lot of secrets in it. We also need to design the boss. We can talk about the boss, but we're probably not going to have time for it today. All right, so let's see. Teddy's not going to be the boss of a dungeon. Teddy will be a pet. There's a mini dungeon in Chrono Trigger with quicksand and stuff where you fight a big skeleton boss. I like that setting, to be honest. I don't know. It's been a while since I played Chrono Trigger, so I don't remember it. Alright, so let's see. We're going to pretend like this is an area in the dungeon. We're just going to do some quick mock-ups. I'm going to create a new layer for this so that we can remove things as needed. Now, I'm still debating on whether or not I want to go interior or not, though. Now, for the demo, we could lock the time. We could even lock the time for this bit, depending on how we do it in the game. Because imagine this will be the very first scene in the game. Like, not this. Like, first sort of, this is the introduction to the game. Before you open it up. Like, you know, imagine when you're playing Elder Scrolls, you know, this is the sewers. So this is like the enclosed area before we let you really get out there and explore everything. Like Link to the Past, this would be like Hyrule Castle, you know. We can sort of lock some things. Maybe we set the time to night and we don't show the timer or anything like that. Not too keen on that, but it's an idea. And so we could lock the sort of setting and environment. Because we probably do want to create a mood for this cutscene. No, not cutscene, but just sort of situation. So it's a possibility. And it's something we should also consider for future things. Maybe we want a specific setting. Didn't Starbound do something like this? It sounds familiar. Like they did it where you would get whisked off to a new area. Planning for the boss battle? No, we're planning the dungeon before the boss battle. We're probably going to do the boss battle next week. Well, pets fight. Pets will have a utility purpose. So some might fight. They won't fight directly, like you would, but they might provide useful services during the fight. Like the fox, for one, might pin enemies down, sort of the thinking, while you can attack them. So they might help out in a fight. There will be maybe party members that come with you, and they can fight with you. Will there be a clock like in Stardew Valley? I don't know what extent I want to do that. I do know that I am thinking of doing a daylight cycle. I don't think I want to do like seasons or anything like that. Like consider like Terraria and Starbound, to where there is a time cycle, but it's not really important. Will truffles find truffles? I'm actually thinking of he don't have like when I first named him, my first thought was he has no sense of smell, because I think it would be a funny name. So we'll have to see about that one. Anyhow, so we're stalling. Let me load up the default palette. I sort of get to some sketching. Oh, come on now. This one. All right. Now, I think this is... Let me remind myself what my colors are for the stones. I redid the stones recently. And this is... The stones used here are probably going to have a similar feel to them. Truffles for president. You and Anyke's trying to get him for mayor for some reason. Let's see. Let me just find my rocks right quick, because I forget which colors are on here are meant for the rocks. The trouble with the palette. Here. Okay. All right. So what I'm thinking, probably do some maybe. Also get a grid going. Let me get this spaced correctly. Hate spacing grids. That'll be alright. We don't need it to be spaced. So we'll probably have some, maybe some pillars. Giant skeleton that you cut into smaller ones. I am thinking, I haven't put a lot of thought into the boss design, but something that has come to mind is sort of like this grotesque, not grotesque, but sort of big skeleton boss that has multiple skulls, maybe that has spirits in the skulls sort of floating around. And so we could do something like that to where you could knock off a skull and it becomes its own little thing. And so the idea is to whittle the skeleton boss down. That reminds me of a lot of the Zelda bosses, like the bubble ones, where like it's a blob of bubbles and then you've got to knock the bubbles off. I don't want to copy that too much, but I think we could still do it. Hello, first time on the stream. Welcome to the stream, bud. Sounds familiar to Eldritch from Dark Souls. I've never played Dark Souls, so I wouldn't know. Well, I bought it and then played like the tutorial, and then I was like, no, this doesn't seem like for me. I don't know why I bought it, to be honest. I'm a very simple gamer. I don't like things to be challenging. Like, I'm perfectly fine playing on like normal difficulties and sometimes even easier than that. Alright, so it looks like these are my colors. And maybe these pillars will have some kind of inscriptions on them or something. Pets become skeletons. I think that's an interesting idea. However, the thing to keep in mind is that I am planning for the player to be able to learn necromancy magic. Well, the dungeon be like a labyrinth. It's probably not going to be too complicated. This is a demo dungeon. I don't expect you to spend more than 5-10 minutes in it. You know, it's not going to be anything complex. Like, the overall gameplay is probably going to be about 15-20 minutes long. And the dungeon doesn't need to be anything complex. Like, it's just, we go here, you know, sort of figure out how combat works, what boss fights are going to be like, that kind of thing. Let's see, we need this. It's just to showcase what the game's all about. So it's going to be pretty simple to start off with. You don't want to show off everything. All of the skeletons should have different faces that represent the horsemen of the apocalypse. Now, I'm thinking of like a lot of skeletons, so I don't want to have to draw. I mean, we could probably do a couple different ones, but then repeat them all. Because I'm thinking like maybe 12 skeletons. Assuming we're talking about the boss idea that I pitched earlier. So, like, if you open a chest or disturb the shrine, the glowing begins. Oh, you're talking about something else. Let's see. Maybe the inscriptions glow and shoot out ghost enemies. Maybe the shrine used to be a graveyard that the people neglected, and some of those ghosts are angry about it. Now, to keep it, that's a really good idea, but this is not an evil shrine, at least not that I think it would be. Like, it's neglected, but it's not something that to be avoided. Now, that is to say the necromancer could do something to sort of awaken something, but like the intention of this shrine area is not evil, so it wouldn't make sense for the original place to make traps and stuff, I don't think. Let's see. Will there be secret bosses like optional Easter egg bosses? Yes, probably more than likely. Where did you learn how to draw pixel art so well? I have no idea what you're talking about. I wouldn't say it's well, but practice got me good enough to... Let's see, it's not a secret if you tell them it exists. Well, if I can say that there are secrets in general. Like, if I said there would be secrets in this game, it doesn't mean there are now all secrets are revealed. Let's see. Probably welcome, Benny Key. I think that's the first. Did you show up? I ain't seen you before. I'm guessing so. What if the messages on the totems are ineligible? Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna put on them. Probably not gonna worry about that right now. But yeah, we could do something like that. I don't know if maybe we do need to have a purpose for the shrines, though. I will admit that the shrines currently have no like reason why they're here. They have a reason why we're going to them, but not why they're here. I've been more quiet letting you get than there you go. You know me, I like to get distracted. Let's see, make a new language lore. I mean, as fun as that sounds, I don't see a point in that. Putting all that effort into that, especially not this early on. Is it going to be like those other signs? Like they're just random. Y'all are putting a lot of thought into the inscriptions. I was just going to do squiggles. I like just little design patterns. I didn't put any thought into what I said there. I just, be a cool idea if the thing had inscriptions. You should make the letter like light blue or pink or something so they look magic. Maybe purple. I'm thinking like magenta purple is sort of a magic color because it's my favorite color or one of them. So something like this, more of a violet. I don't know what we're going to do here. I'm not going to put any thought in these squiggles right now. We'll get distracted. Just something random. Defend your pet horde mode. That's something I would like to do. We talked about the base building thing in the devlog, and I think it would be cool to have like the town's getting attacked, defended or whatever, or your base is getting raided. I think that would be cool. Let's see, you can pick up nuts from forest for squirrel pet. Now, do you know the lore about squirrels, or or do we have to explain that one? Let's see, like Terraria, yes, like something like Terraria. Like I love Terraria's blood moons. And I would like to do something like that. Keep in mind this is not a survival type game like Terraria, but I think it would be cool to have some kind of event like that, to where you have to defend the townsfolk or whatever. Now, if we were to do something like that, it's not in the plans right now. It's not important, but it's still an idea to think about. Don't look too bad. Can you make a boomerang? We could do something like that. We're actually going to have probably a weapon stream at some point where we design new weapons. I wanted to do that at some time ago, but I ended up doing something else. I forget what it was. Or something else more important that I wanted to get done. So we did that during a stream instead. Blood moons are fun because it's a constant sense of anticipation for that night coming up. I don't really think about the nights, Like blood moons don't really cause any issues for me. So, do you, when you play Terraria, do you sit there saying, "Oh no, I hope there's not a blood moon tonight"? Because it's kind of adorable. I'll pick you with you. I just let you know, your gaming devlog's looking to feel very relaxing to me. Well, that's good. Glad to. We like playing game at night, dark theme now. There will be, like I said, time scales. So, can you kill your pets? No. Hey, are dungeons going to be finite and hand design, or more precision? They will be hand design. Yes, because I'm not too keen on procedural generation. I want to do everything manually because I think it's a lot better that way. Because I mentioned this in the first devlog, I think it was. Like, I've never seen a procedural dungeon and be like, wow, this is great, you know, so pretty. So that's the sort of my main goal. I want to make very interesting scenes that it is appealing to the player. Real game design for the win, and exactly. Now, something I am thinking about though, this is not canon. Remember the note from before, so like this may or may not make it. I would like to have like make a level designer thing, and upload that to like the Steam workshop or whatever, and let y'all design dungeons for everybody, for other people to play, and then you can post your dungeon. I think that would be really nice. What engine to use? I use Godot engine. Please make the next master as fast as you can. Like, as in, we should design him soon. I don't feel really a need to design him right now, because I don't plan on showing him off like in the devlogs or anything for a while. So there's not really a desire for me to really do him. Is that how Godot is pronounced? It's a whole thing on its own, but it is the most common way to pronounce it from what I've seen. All right, moving on to another one. It's one of those things. It always gets talked about a lot. In my opinion, I get a little irritated when people put too much thought into it. Like, it's, you know, it doesn't matter how you pronounce it. Just, I don't know. Some people you'll see, they'll be like, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. They'll do it in their videos, and I'm just like, this it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Let's see. Okay. So we need... I still don't know what I want to do for this sort of dungeon, though. Use a... see. About a half hour into making a dungeon, and we have one pillar. Yes, indeed. Well, I mean, it's not this stream is not really meant for the like, it's not going to be a productive stream. In fact, when I did this, I was like, we're probably not going to get a whole lot of art done. It's more of a thinking process, sort of thinking about what we want. You know, what mechanics do we get? You know, that kind of thing. I wouldn't expect too much to get done today. Hey, Game Endeavor, how about the reanimated skeleton spawning at night on the blood moon? So kind of like Breath of the Wild, where all dead monsters are revived, but instead of the skin, instead of bone. Wait. Well, we talked about that earlier. Break pillars? We could do something like that, but is there a need to? Fiery skeletons? You mean the ones that burn up during the daytime? Let's see. Like I said, I wanted to do some kind of overgrowth thing as well. How do we want to do some overgrowth? We have these bushes here. I want to redo these bushes. I don't like them. But we need to make the thing look more overgrown. Would dungeon be randomly generated? They will not. No, they will be hand built. Fireflies at night. Yes. Oh, I should show y'all that for those who haven't seen. I didn't even show y'all what I've been working on this week. Usually, but at the start of the stream, I'll go and talk about what I'm doing. Watch this for those of y'all that haven't seen. We have a custom lighting system going. Let me pull up the debug forest. Oops. So this is the general idea. Like, I made this myself. There's none of that overlapping issue that you tend to see. And so imagine these have like little, you know, candles or campfires or torches or whatever like that. And so we'll have this sort of lighting system where you can't see, like when you're inside of a dungeon or something like that, you can't really see too far away from you, that kind of thing. The light pulse is better on my screen now. Yeah. I changed it up a little bit. They were very slow in and out, but I was like, I went and watched some fire, like just sort of how it you know, he went and studied fire basically. And I was like, there's a really sort of a pulsing type of thing going on. So that's what I tried to mimic. Now there's something else I wanted to try. And I don't know if y'all have any ideas for this. Something I would like to do, but I found it very difficult to pull off. If we do this, then we sort of get this meta ball effect to where the lights combine, but it's very fluidy looking. I like it, but I'm still pretty meh on it. So, I don't know. I have to figure out a good way to do all that. It looks a little better than it did last time, though, but yeah. So, yes, so there's that. I thought I did something else, but I don't know. Surface tension effect is cool, but feels wrong for light. Yeah, I agree. Like, it feels very fluid-like. But the idea that I want to do with it, well, you see where it overlaps? I want it to smooth out here. That's, you know, but only do so when it touches. But I don't know how to do that. Like, when it touches there, smooth out those, or where that overlaps there. No idea how to do that, though. And that was the closest thing I could get to it, but not too keen on it. So, yeah. There's that. I also did... Now, that this is... Y'all might not be too impressed with this one, but this is something I'm happy with. I created the speech bubble thing. So previously when I was doing, during my devlogs, when I was doing the speech bubbles, if you ever seen the speech bubbles, I made them manually. So I would build the scene and manually place them and everything. But now I can do these like instantly, like rather than having to build the scene out. So it don't look any different, but it's really nice to be able to just be like, you know, type in a text and be like, boop, now I'm saying that. And it scales automatically and everything. So in the devlogs, we'll be able to, you know, do more one-liners. You know how, you know me, I love my one-liners. So we'll be able to do that. And this will be a thing in the game. Maybe you're walking past Teddy and then he's like talking to himself, that kind of thing, where you don't need a dedicated speech system, but, you know, something he can say out loud. Let's see. But yeah. Is the speech going to be for an online version? You can set up collision areas that push a string. Let's see. Set up a collision area push a string. Yes, correct. That's what that would be the intention. So like, do all actors have that method? They don't, but it would just be as simple as moving the method. I just did it on the player because reasons. So any actor I should be able to push it to any actor and it'll happen automatically. I'll have to make a thing. For positioning reasons, I need to move this so that it knows where to put it. Did it draw? I drew everything. Everything you've seen. Teddy for president. Alright. So not truffles. Will the game have creative mode or like a mode where you can do whatever you want? Like, have to do everything possible in the game? Well, I don't know. I don't see a creative mode thing happening because it's not Minecraft. It's not going to be like a bunch of... It's not a crafting game. See, maybe a fog system as well, or the fog with around 3/4 of it on the transparent, so it looks thick, but you can still see would be cool. I do want to have a fog system in the dark, like I'm planning on something like that through the woods. And then when you light up, it gets rid of the fog. I think that would be cool. Why not add torches that character would light and get for example 10% damage in that area? Very specific. Okay, so add a survival mode and a story mode. There's going to be like a survival option, if that makes sense. You know, like how you would start New Vegas, they'd be like, do you want to play survival? Yeah. So where you'd have to like eat and everything like that. I would like to do something like that. Let's get back to work though. I got distracted again. So, something that I'm wanting to think about is what designs for the dungeon we could implement. Will you do secret dungeons? There will probably be some secret dungeons, yes. Let's see. You'll have to look for them. Co-op a la Secret of Mana. That's what I'm thinking. Jared, actually, oh, no, not Secret of Mana. About Legend of Mana, sort of like a Legend of Mana style co-op, maybe. There will be at least local co-op. I would like to do multiplayer, like online multiplayer, but that's, a whole thing. A very important question: will the pets be hidden playable characters? If that was a thing, that would be cool. Imagine lunging at people as an animal. Like, can you play as a pet? No. Okay. What is the game lore? The game has that would take a while. It's not what we're here for. And well, it's not really known at the moment either for y'all. When y'all will probably learn more about the lore when the demo comes out. A little bit about it. Is it going to be on console? That will depend on how easy it is to port. I want to do it on console. I'm designing it as though it can be played on console. But yeah. I've heard that online multiplayer is really hard to implement. It, from what I've seen, it is, and it's not something that I want to get bogged down with right now. So yeah. Okay, I need to. Let's see. I don't know. Okay, overgrowth. We need to do overgrowth. We want the place to look like it's. So it's probably going to have a lot of shade, a lot more shade than the other path. More leaves. What else does overgrowth have? Maybe some leaf piles? Ooh, that would be interesting. Maybe we should do that. A leaf auto tile. And when the player runs through it, it kicks up leaf particles. That would be interesting. Back on topic. I'm trying to get back on topic, Aniki. I'm getting very distracted. So we need to design aesthetics and mechanics for the dungeon. Tall grass, bushes, tall grass. Oh, let's do that. Let's do some tall grass. I really like tall grass. I'm thinking sort of like the vein of Stardew Valley. Yes, to where you'll have grass that it won't grow here, but in the town maybe it'll grow and you can trim it up and everything like that. We'll have to see how that goes. But I would like to have tall grass that's sort of Z-sorted. You can walk through it, and as you walk through it, it sort of rustles. How about moss? Oh, moss would be good. We need moss for things. I think right now we're going to do tall grass. And that's something I could use y'all's help with. Because I tried this before. Not here, but in a different game. And I had a really difficult time with it. So let's do that. Let's use this wood here. And so, what kind of tall grass do we want? What size do we want it to be? We have here the whole 24 by 24. Are you going to have puzzles? I would like to have puzzles, but it's not something... I've never designed puzzles. So, yeah. YouTube, buddy. Don't spam your messages, please. You have to give people... I'm not going to... So it's a forest design. I got a bit too late. Yes, correct. We are designing a forest. Tall grass. How do we want to do this? I don't want it to be too jungly looking. I'm thinking maybe little tufts. Just sketching here. No, it's terrible. Let me actually make a new layer so we can get off that the stone layer. So I can just hit delete. We want this. Let's get a brighter color. What do you think about adding moving sand? That slows you down. Moving sand. I mean, that would make sense for like a desert type thing. But I don't have anything planned for desert right now. kind of want to avoid desert because desert cliche unless I do something interesting about it. I have done puzzles. I might hit you up for some help then, Joel. So let's see. I sort of have to figure out how we want this to look. We're just working on the silhouette right now. What I'm thinking is sort of like a tuft here. So like we'll be positioning it here, and it'll be like a little tuft of grass. And we'll do a bunch of these, and we'll do it on a grid. So we're not using the proper grid here, but imagine it was. Let's go ahead and try to do that. How much are we here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we go -5. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go +5. That should get us better on the grid. No better. So you can see here. Okay, maybe we put these like one. Let's also do this because I'm thinking it'll be a 12 by 12 grid, and we can do something like this. That's terrible. Grass, man. Like tall grass. I have issues with anything nature like, really. Have you seen my trees? Like I can't draw trees and grass for nothing. To save my life. I spent a lot of time when I was doing that other drawing that I did for the other game. Trying to get grass, and it's just frustrating. Google Images. What are we talking about? Oh, Google Images grass. I need to do some references. Yeah, let's do some references. Okay. Not Google Images. Google Images is terrible for getting references. I use Google Images when I want something that looks like garbage. Pull this up here. Found your videos yesterday. You're doing great work. Keep it up. Well, thank you. Let's see. I also want to do sort of a tall grass tile set like these here. Maybe. You don't want to have too many different types of grasses though. That's another thing to consider. Like, if we do the tall grasses that I'm thinking of, we might have to get rid of these, because you don't want a whole bunch of different grasses. Hey, I posted in the suggestions of your Discord an image of grass by a guy named Krug Smash, and I thought it was a cool texture. Well, let's take a look. That is nice. Doesn't really help me, though. I'm thinking of more of a... more like Stardew Valley's grass. Let's look at it. Like this here. Oops. If we can get a closer look on it. It's weird about Stardew Valley. Try finding a close-up image of anything Stardew Valley. Everybody wants to do like these tiny little images. I was looking yesterday for the when I did my my little forest thing here. I was like, Stardew Valley has a little forest thing too, don't they? Let me look at it. And then I tried looking at Stardew Valley Forest and just gave up and just loaded the game, took my own snapshot. It's so frustrating. Why does everybody want to take out like the zoomed out images? Oh, come on now. Stop playing. So yeah, something like this. If we can get a better image of it. Which we can't. I don't know what it is with Stardew Valley though. It's just every image. It's so far away. If y'all ever take screenshots of my games, get closer ones. Whatever. Ooh, what is that? Okay, but back to work. Spider's resource website has a lot of Stardew Valley pictures, probably. Let me pull that up actually. Spider's resource. If you've never heard of it, it is a fantastic thing for getting reference images. If you like a specific thing. They don't always have every texture though, which can be a problem. Like here, I'm probably not going to find the grass texture specifically. Maybe here it is. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Oh well. Oh well. We'll just have to faff about until we figure it out. Oh. Howdy, Kindy. What if, instead of doing straight up like I'm doing, oh good. What if we go down a bit? We maybe keep that a little more like this. And something more like that. Let's see. You said this might not happen, like the level designer, but what about a pet designer to make your own pets? Probably not. The level design would be more likely. Now, I didn't say it. Well, yeah, it might not happen, of course, but I mean, I would like to. Like, it's something I really, really want to do. So, I mean, I wouldn't count it out. Like, you know. But yeah, this looks creepy for some reason, and I don't know why. Like, I'm getting some horror vibes from whatever this is. And the idea being, we sort of, oops. Sort of have like a bunch of these. And we'll place them down and sort of offset them a bit. Add highlights and shallows. This is the first draft. Yeah. I'm just trying to get the silhouette going. You're allowed to change things. Yeah. So, let's see. Right now, it looks like it's the shadow of corn. But with detail, it probably looks like script. Well, that's true. It's true. Let's see. But if you've ever seen my vegetation, you know that this is probably not going to go well. Do we? No, we don't do. Let's not do shadows. Might be an issue, maybe? I don't know. Cursed streamer going to be a character, by the way. Love the devlogs and streams. Well, thank you, Tur. Yeah, the cursed streamer is redacted. You will find out about him probably in the demo, maybe, probably, probably. Y'all will learn more about the lore, though. Like, we're keeping it under wraps for now. So that is, you know. All this. I do not know why I decided that drawing plant stuff on the stream would be a great idea. Knowing good and well that I am one of the worst plant drawers ever. This is... I don't know what I was thinking. This currently reminds me of a Minecraft fern. I don't know if that helps. Really? I wasn't too keen on the Minecraft ferns, to be honest. I think they're pretty meh. The general idea is I want something that can be tiled a lot. And sort of doesn't grab too much attention. Although, because there's going to be a lot of them. Because you can imagine the whole idea here is that you're sort of running through a bunch of these. There's going to be like a bunch of overgrowth. That's sort of, no. We could actually add in some flowers too. That would be interesting, actually. What if we did that? Like a flower field using the same mechanic. We could also have tall grass, but we could also do the same thing but with flowers. I would like that. It would also fit the more cute aesthetic that we're going for. As one suggestion, maybe for each strand of grass you imagine, draw only one. Draw only the left of it, fill the rest with darker tone of color. I don't know what you mean. Let's see. That looks like it would give you a sharp cut in the arm if you touch it. Really? Maybe. What if... Oh, I mean, it's pixel art. There's only so dull we can make it. Don't go into the tall grass without a pet. Let's see. Should definitely have a random mice run out as you run through it. Oh, that's actually an interesting idea. We could have some small animals. Now, the mouse... We could do it so that it sits on the edge. Maybe. That's an interesting idea. Yellow mice. Or maybe a bird that sort of flies out. Flower filled with a mimic flower? Maybe. I really like the idea of doing this with both flowers. I mean, granted, this is not going to be for the dungeon. The dungeon, we don't want the dungeon to be pretty. We want to sort of... We want the player to feel a bit of dread when they start getting close to the dungeon. Like I said, it's going to be unkempt. All that fun stuff. Mushrooms, there will be mushrooms. Lots of mushrooms. Giant mushrooms too, probably. Dungeon can be pretty too. Dungeons can be pretty. This one will not be. This is not going to be an ugly dungeon. It's just... Like I said, it's an unkempt forest that we want to... It's not meant to be a habit. This is terrible. Maybe we'll do a mushroom. Let's do a mushroom. Okay. We're going to have probably different sizes of mushrooms. Let me grab a 24 by 24. Okay. Actually, I think the grid might be... slightly off. Yeah, it makes more sense. Oh, fallen logs. That's something we could do too. That would actually... Covered in moss. Spike traps. Now, I want to avoid traps because the last time I tried working on a game like this, I found it difficult to do the pet system with traps. Because they have to avoid it. Well, at least I found it difficult to do it with, more difficult with like the retractable traps or whatever. But we are going to do a mushroom. Probably about... Maybe about a 3x3 grid. Let's see. Let's go with this. Because mushrooms I can draw a little better. A little better than I can do grass. I don't have any fancy ideas for mushroom though. What kind of mushroom do we want to do? I mean, of course, there's the very stereotypical red mushroom. We could do that to get us started, but I would want to do other types. And we might even do like maybe some glowing mushrooms. I really like, I mean, I don't want to rip too much off of a Terraria, but I like the idea of glowing mushrooms. Like in fantasy settings, it's a very common thing, so hopefully it wouldn't be too much stealing. Pet mushroom, there probably might be a pet mushroom as well. Some broken keep out danger signs. Now, this is not a dangerous area either. It's just an unkempt area. And in fact, like, it's not completely, I mean, it's not even regarded as dangerous. The only reason it's dangerous now is the fact that skeletons have popped up. So let's see. But I really like, if you ever see those like artworks of like glowing mushrooms, giant glowing mushrooms, I always thought that was interesting. So I would like to do something like that. Let's see. Let's grab. This is not going to be the actual color. We're just doing the silhouette, but I want to get an idea of what the head looks like separate from the stem. No. Maybe I'll go 4 high. We also want to be careful of making this look too using mouse or pen. I'm using a tablet. There's more information about that in the description, including the tablet that I use and why I recommend it. Withering grass to indicate things are getting dangerous. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. We could do something like that and make that thematic. We would have to... It would be an interesting idea to have that kind of thing, to where things start withering. Not immediately, but like as when there are undead nearby, story-wise, things start to get withered. Like their presence causes withering. Aesthetically, that might be a good bit of work, but I think that's a really interesting idea. Trying to think of how I want this to look. Just came in now. What it just not a lot. This stream has been everywhere, to be honest. We are right now trying to make the dungeon area, the path to the dungeon, or no, the dungeon area itself, look overgrown. It's a shrine. That you'll be going through. An exterior shrine, probably. And we want it to look like it hasn't really been upkept. And we're sort of talking about the mechanics of things that we can add to the dungeon to make it interesting. Make the mushroom red and white like always. It mean, like, probably, but this right now I'm just working on the silhouette. This is not, I'm not going to be, it's not going to be a blue mushroom, if that's what you mean. I just concerned more about the silhouette. And I wanted to keep the head separate down from the stem, just to help visualize it. I'm just trying to figure out what angle I want to do this mushroom at. Maybe a leaning forward like this. Maybe I'm starting to like this. When you're drawing, I recommend working on silhouettes and stuff like this. Because you think about it, like you want the player to be able to recognize things immediately. And the best way to do that is to have a good silhouette. That got weird. There are hundreds of species of mushrooms and fungus, red cage mushrooms, indigo mushrooms, brain mushrooms. Yeah, like, I don't want to do too many cliche mushrooms. I would like to have various different types. Lots of vines, moss, and fungi. Yeah, fungi. I don't know. So, who play who? I don't know. Maybe make poisonous mushrooms that will let off a gas that kills or hurts you. Interesting. We could play with mushrooms more. Because like I said earlier on, I would like to maybe do a sub thing. Like with mushrooms. I don't know what yet, but I would like to. Like, not part of the main plot, but still have its own little side thing. Have pets, just ignore traps. They have special ability to not be affected. We could do something like that. We'd have to be careful of the traps. Like, it would be weird if they walked over pit traps or whatever and didn't fall into them. And like, yeah. I don't know, we'll figure it out. It's not too bad. I don't like the shape of the stem though. Part of me wants to have more of a curve here. No. How about a mushroom flower? How would that work? Mushroom flower hybrid. It's an interesting idea. That's a big mushroom. It's probably one of the smaller ones that I would like to do. I like big mushrooms. It feels very jagged. I don't know why I keep making it jagged. Yeah, he did. Terrible. I don't know what it is about mushrooms though. Drawing them are very cathartic. Very soothing. When I first started the channel, Game Endeavor, when I was doing tutorials, I spent like a day drawing a mushroom. I think it was in the first tutorial. Very far right. It was that or the second tutorial that I showed it in. But I did it for the first one. I spent like I just wanted a very basic one, but I spent a day just painting a very nice painted one. Like, for no reason other than it was nice and fun to do. I don't know what it is about mushrooms. Speaking of mushroom plant hybrids, what about mushroom trees? Yes, I want to do some big mushroom stuff. So probably like bigger than that tree here. We're probably going to have, probably in this first dungeon area, just like a, sort of introduce the concept of mushrooms. And then maybe it'll be something like a whole mushroom invasion or something. How about elder plants or mushrooms that look old and have cobwebs on them? That's interesting. Mushrooms with like webs and vines and moss and stuff on them. I really like that idea. If I can pull it off. Cobwebs sounds like it would be really difficult to do. Brain mushrooms. That sounds like a lot of detail. Like, this is a very, very simple game that doesn't have a lot of details, as you can see with like the grass here. So I think that a brain mushroom might stand out. Isn't that like the very veiny looking, like, I don't know. You know what? I should have probably looked up mushroom references. It probably would be a lot easier. Let's do that. Oh, let's see. Let's see. This looks really cool. I'm looking for shape. We don't have to copy a certain mushroom. I just want to get, like, what are mushrooms shaped like? Are we doing a mushroom dungeon? We're not doing a mushroom dungeon, but there will be some mushroom overgrowth in this tour and in the path to the dungeon. Had to eat a chocolate truffle, not sure why. Well, there you go. I don't know. Maybe something like that. Something I did notice is that I have this very high up. It's not the worst thing, but a lot of these mushrooms are not so like that. Kind of shallow. I do want to have some high up ones. In fact, there was one I seen that was pretty high up. Maybe add little fairies in mushroom filled areas. Fairies. We haven't established fairies in the lore. If we add fairies, then we probably throw them in here. But it's not something that I've considered. I think I'm going to do a brown mushroom. Now, we're not going to go into too detailed about this. We've took a lot of time already. I just sort of want to get the silhouettes of things, and I can polish it up later. I just want to, the whole purpose of this stream is just to sort of get an idea of what the dungeon will look like, rather than spending too much time doing all the art for it. Like, what elements do we want in the dungeon? So like this right here, good enough. It's good enough for now. Because I think that looks good. How did you do the outline so quick? If you select the color that you want, so for example, this black one here, and you go to Edit, whoops, Edit, FX, Outline. You can do your outline there. Your colors look great. How did you pick them? Practice, lots of practice. Yeah, I don't really have a process for it. Like, for example, for grass, if I want grass, I kind of like a bluish greenish grass, you know, a little less than fully saturated because it's in the background, and then I just move stuff around until I like it. Oh, this, by the way, we want to go darker here. Put a little shade in here. Probably not the color we'll use. I mean, that's absolutely not the color we'll use, but it'll give us an idea. Actually, we'll get rid of it. I don't like it. It's a forest dungeon. Correct. Let's see. Dungeon or cave. It's going to be it's a forest dungeon. You're going to go through a forest. Overgrown forest. Full of giant mushrooms. Big and small. Let's do another one. Or this one is going to be not as big. Still going to be big. Maybe a 2x3. If even that. Let's see. We want to do a different style this time. Thought about animal dens? I haven't thought about animal dens. Probably not animal dens. There's probably not going to be a lot of animal monsters. There's probably going to be mostly skeletons. I mean, I meant there should be some old-looking statues in the dungeon. It's a shrine, not like I don't expect statues. I expect it to be sort of simple, sort of like stones kind of thing. You know, it's a very primitive land. They don't have probably like the high-tech statue making technology. Let's see, let's go even smaller than that. Maybe a compact flat mushroom? Maybe. Let's see. I'll go even lower. Probably be looks like this might be a 2x2. That would be nice. Indiana Jones Forest Temple. I haven't watched a lot of Indiana Jones. It's been a long time since I've even seen any of it. So I don't know. Do not know what that's like. Isn't that like an underground, like cave thing? Maybe. I'm wanting this to be above ground, I think. I think it's going to be an exterior dungeon. Just some stones laying around. Some broken. I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned Stonehenge. I was just thinking about Stonehenge. Whoever built it probably also did not have a great statue building tech either. Yeah, but Stonehenge is not really a statue. I meant it's just a big stone. But that's sort of the idea that I want. Sort of something like Stonehenge. Where maybe, you know, they have not as, you know, like Stonehenge, but just sort of some stones laying around. More ruined. In Stonehenge, like in pretty good shape. Like I'm thinking like broken rocks. I was even thinking about maybe some rocks that sort of laying on top of each other, maybe. But of course, I don't want to rip off Stonehenge. But just a thought. But just some man-made things. Might need a darker color for this. Well, it sort of goes against my coloring style right now, which would be not this dark for sure. I think this one. Oops. Is there a wood hinge? You made Stonehenge? Good for you, bud. So something like dolmen, I've never heard of it. Dutch column. Stone grave sites made by stacking a long stone on two other stones. I'll have to check that out. Maybe see how they do it. Stonehenge is one of the many thousands of hinges all over Europe. What makes Stonehenge so famous then? If it's so common. Is it common for people to stack stones like this? You never hear much about it here. It is the hinge. Is it the one where they decided to use stone? The other ones are wooden. There's the wooden hinge answer. All right. What do we think of that style? Does that look decent? That will be... might be interesting layering wise. Just wanted to say great stream and great game. Do you have any idea if it'll be released on a platform like Steam or something similar? Yes, I'll be releasing it on Steam, and thank you for the compliments. Stream's been... I'm surprised you think it's a great one though. It's been a little rough, to be honest. No shadow on the stem. This is just for sketching. I'm not concerned too much about all that. Just trying to get ideas for shapes and like what do we want. I'll polish these up later. What do we think of this though? How does this look to y'all? Oops. As a sketch. What other kind of stone things? Probably should do some research on that. Look at the cross-hatching and faces at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Okay. I joined recently, but I really like the atmosphere. Well, thank you. Will there be a Linux build? Yeah, more than likely. Do you have a tutorial for animated tile? No. But I mean, you talking about like how I did with the grass? That's just an animated texture that you use for the tile map. They look a bit too smooth. Probably. What do you mean smooth? Exactly. Like they need some texture to them. Most of the things in this game won't have texture. It's definitely not as sharp as the corner. But I mean, that's just a sketch. Consider that to be like a crayon drawing. Like I'm just trying to get the idea for the shape. Just a general idea. I will touch this up later. What I'm mainly looking at is aesthetic. Like, does the stone's shape fit into the game? How would it look exactly? It's a bit small. That is true. See, that's the kind of thing I want to know. It does look a bit small. I was wanting to. I didn't want to do anything big, but you're probably right there. All right, let's make it bigger. How much bigger? Oh, hey, first time in the live. Welcome to the stream, bud. I'd be tempted to try to walk under it. Yeah, I was planning on not letting you sort of walk under it, but I can see the point. So we'll get rid of that. How does this look? That looks better, yeah. But I was thinking more like it was alongside like of a bench size, but I guess I wasn't too keen on how that looked. Looks like a portal you'd walk through. Maybe. Let's see. You didn't find any good tutorials on animated tiles in Godot? I don't know what to say. It's a pretty straightforward process. You make the animated tile resource and then you add in your textures. Now I want to do that. Stand it out a bit so that it matches the grid better. Also think this should be thicker. I like the idea of the size of this. I think maybe we'll do some bigger things too. Keeps that there for now. I didn't know that you would not be able to walk through it. Yeah. Let's see. I presume it's the issue of Z indexing. Yeah, it'll need to be in 2 separate pieces. You'll need one for here, one for here. And then we can probably split it down the middle. That should be fine, I think. Z indexing, man. Z indexing is a hassle. Or whatever, Y sorting or whatever. Or even 3. You think 3? Why do you think 3? Visual glitch in the top. The only reason I could see that, unless I'm not thinking of something, is if the player would stand here and attack all the way up here. But if the player is standing here, then they will render underneath both of these. So that shouldn't be an issue. I imagine it would only be an issue if you was below this but above this, and somehow to be seen above that. Attach the top to the left leg, like it's in front of the player then. I don't know. I would say 2, just the left pillar. Yeah, the top and right for Y sorting. We'll have to put it out. I really don't see how it would be an issue though, unless I'm missing something. I generally don't. I think we'll have to see. Like I said, the Z sorting or Y sorting is a hassle. Okay. What else can we put? That didn't look too bad. I kind of like it. Okay, what other things could we have? For the stones, you can draw them in the sprite stack and export it in various rotations. I've never used sprite stack. I mean, I really don't mind to draw new stones, and I don't expect to do different variations on them. A whole bunch of different ones. Maybe another mushroom? Maybe. That looks terrible. Yeah, let's go with the mushroom. What if we start with the head first? Did we already on a new one? Yeah. What shape of the head do we want? Then we try drawing the stem. Mushroom circles. What are they called? Isn't there a name for those? Daisy rings? Fairy rings? Fairy rings, I think is what they're called. But that's not... Or do they have mushrooms around the sides? I don't know. Something pointier, since the other two are flat. Yeah, we could do that. Let's grab this color again, our silhouette color. I do like the idea of a pointy mushroom. How big do we want this? I like the idea. Something like that. Let's go with a 4 wide. Let's give us plenty of room. Let's see. Copernicus might be a good reference for pointing. Look it up. Let's see. Copernicus. Oh, these are pretty. We could do like a mushroom cluster like this too. This looks very fantasy-like. Yeah, so I see that. They come in the bundles. It's a really nice effect. fairy bonnets. Those are cute. Ooh, look at these. That's colorful. We could do something like that. Howdy. Alright. What if we bundle up a bunch of these big ones? Yowdy. Yeah, they could be alongside a path or on a smaller side. Have you tried making dead trees? I have not made some dead trees. We could try to do some dead trees too. Let's see. Oh, let's think. Are we placing all of these are in a bush type thing? Maybe we could have giant bushes and have these inside of. If you want to see something crazy, look up. What is up with mushrooms having the weirdest names? And why do y'all know all these mushroom names? Oh yeah, I've seen that one before. That was a very creepy one. Oops. But I really like this idea. Let me pull this up. Of how these are in like a big bush. And if we could have like giant bushes. I don't know how we do that in the world though. Okay, let's see. Let's sort of deviate from this for a second. Imagine something like this. How would we do? It's like a giant bush in the environment. Let's go with a brighter color. Nope. Let's go with this for a silhouette. Could we? Maybe do an auto tile like this. So we have like different tiles like that. And here we have like bushes. And then have little mushrooms. Now these probably wouldn't be able to do through tile because I imagine they'd probably take up different things. We could place these manually maybe. Oops. An auto tile mushroom wall. That's what I'm looking at. Sort of like a something like that. So it has like bushes and stuff too. I don't think we'd be able to do just the whole mushrooms as part of the auto tile. If we want to have variations, you might have to place them manually. Maybe it would be nice to do them in auto tile, but we don't want it to be too repetitive. Now this here color is just a really bad choice for color, something like that. That. There. When will the next stream? The GE stream will be after this. I have to make the thumbnail take a break. Not right now. Like I said, don't abandon me just yet. But at the end of this stream, I will take a break. And we'll get started on that. Add a dragon. What do we want a dragon for? Now these are not also going to be the mushroom colors for these. I really like the idea of how it looked in those photos we showed, to where they're sort of palish blue. I think that looks really nice. What wouldn't you want a dragon for? I just don't see how it would fit the story that we're telling. I don't want to just shove in a dragon without a reason. A mushroom with dragon wings. The only reason I'm awake now is GE. Look at you, bud. A skeleton and necromancer monarch would fit the game better than a dragon. Yeah. I'm kind of happy with like the style of the art that we're doing here. Like, keep in mind, this is not the final art. We're just sort of, this is concept art is what this is. We're just trying to get a concept down of what the environment's going to look like. And I'm digging it. I like it. Let's go back to this guy. Now these, actually, let's go back here. These look a little too evenly spaced. So we will want to probably do something like this. We cover that up with some shadow or whatever, and then do a little more overlapping. Oops. Let's get rid of these. Something like that. Oops. Oh, how about you make your own original mushrooms, like mushrooms that look like Pac-Man or some kind of bug-like creature? I don't know what you mean by that. Any key are there stones with runes linked it out? Let's see. What is it? By the way, we're making a mushroom bush thing. Well, we're trying to figure out the concept art for a mushroom bush. Let's see. Finally, I'm in a lava. Welcome to the stream, bud. All right. Maybe there can be mushroom people that run when you get close in half and lead you to a boss. Some little mushroom creatures, possibly. Let's see. Oops. I like green mushrooms would look better. Again, this is not the final colors of anything. So we're just looking at shapes and everything. I would not be using these colors. I'm just throwing down stuff. In fact, I liked it better when I was doing that. That's some kind of blue mushrooms with blue lights. We could do that. I do want to have some kind of those glowy type of mushrooms. Let's see. I want this layer. All right. I'm gonna go back to this one now. What do y'all think of that though? That idea, that bushy type thing. I think we'd only be able to do it at the top of the level and have it all go all the way up to the top. Sort of like a wall bush or something. But I think that could look nice. I don't know how I would do how like an auto tile thing with it though. It might have to be its own individual object. Mush bush. There you go. Really digging this project. The emphasis on user experience and quality controls will help the player feel immersed for hours. I think so too. Is it going to be a vibrant environment or more subtle? This one is not going to be vibrant, but there may be mushroom environment later on that's really vibrant. This one is sort of we want this one to be sort of dark and dreary, overgrown, you know, not dark and dreary, but unsettling. Like, it's not comfortable being here. Do you have a deadline for the game? No, not really. Ideally, like I'm expecting to work on it probably about 3 years or so. But I'm in no rush right now. I've also never timed a project before like this of this scale, so I have no idea how long it'll take. Like cookie cutters in that sense, meaning Mashar don't need to look like Mashar. Just reinvent the wheel. You can do star shapes. No, I kind of want it to look like mushrooms though. I don't want people to go, "What is that?" And I'll be like, "That's a mushroom, believe it or not." You've already made massive progress. Well, thank you. I think we have good progress. When are you doing a Kickstarter? Ideally, whenever we launch the demo next year, early March. Not early March, but in March. I can only imagine what 3 years would bring. No, like 3 years, yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. Like I said, I think 3 years would be a good time to do what I want to do with it. Heck, yeah. Let's see. Something I noticed here. Not here. We have to consider, like, how it sits on the ground. Where does the player collide with it? What about this? Ooh, I kind of like that. Let's see. You're giving a much more realistic timeline than a lot of people thinking 6 months max. When did I ever say 6 months? 6 months for the demo. I want to do March for the demo, and then 3 years for the full release. By the way, what photo editor is that? I've always said it, but probably not always. When I first started the project, I wanted to have a demo within months. But, I decided if I'm going to make this game, I might as well go all out. Like, do the actual game that I wanted to make. I was going to make a quick and easy RPG. But I was like, if I'm going to go, I might as well make the dream game that I wanted to do as a child. Because I have the momentum, I think, to do it. And I have the motivation, the drive, and everything. A lot of newer devs seem to think a game takes 6 months. Oh, yeah, no. I do know that it's going to take more than 6 months. I'm even nervous saying 3 years, but I do believe we can have it in 3 years. Yeah, to be fair, it depends on the game. It does depend on the game. This is going to be a fair-sized game, though, if it goes the way I plan for it to. Even my parents think I can make a game in 2 days. I mean, I can make a game in 2 days. It's just not going to be a great game. This is like the dream game that I've always wanted to make ever since I was like just the youngest child. And so I want to put my heart and soul into this. So I want to take time, make it perfect. Like, I don't want to, not too perfect, because the game does need to be made eventually. It does need to be finished. So I'm not like, I don't want to spend too long on it. But yeah, I like that shape though. That shape looks fine. This little nub here is, if I can remember what button I need. There. This button here is like a little nub that sticks out there. I like that. I love seeing dev passion for games they create. Well, me too. Welcome to Totally Just Magic. There you go. Game jams are a thing. Speaking of which, any more game endeavor jams planned for the future? We'll probably do some. when I started this community, that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to do frequent jams. This is when I was doing tutorials though and had a lot more time to actually participate in the jams. Nowadays, like, I don't really have a lot of time to participate in the jams, so I feel bad when I don't do that. And so I do want to do more jams, but like it feels weird if I do a jam that I'm not participating in. So I don't know. We'll have to see. G-Jam was cool. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. Maybe some smaller mushroom branching off. Oh, that would be a good idea, actually. Let's do that. I like that idea. What is that? Oh, it's a rock. Let's move that up one. That was confusing. Okay. Let's see. What is it? Oh, howdy. Let's see. Gotta remember when I was 7 years old, asking a family friend to get me some software for making games because I wanted to make one myself. There you go. I didn't know about engines. I don't know how long game engines have been a popular thing. I didn't know about them when I started development. And so I had no idea how to make them. I remember when I was still young. I don't know how young though. I don't know if y'all ever played Stick Soldiers. Maybe I think it was the second one I played, Stick Soldiers 2. And I remember I actually emailed the devs asking them how they made their game. Like, what did they use to make it? Never heard back from them, unfortunately. But like, I had no idea how games were made. But I was, something I wanted to do, and just it took me a while to get to it though. I didn't start actually making games until I was 18, somewhere around in there. The art style reminds me of Commander Keen. I've never heard of it. I don't think the game engines were a thing back in 2007, but no clue. I could be wrong. Maybe. No, they were 2007. Yes, because that was when I picked up game development, and I do know that Game Maker was around before it was Game Maker Studio. That was one of the early ones I used, and also Light C was a thing, and it was a game engine. RPG Maker has been around for a while. I had it for PlayStation. It was actually, if you consider it the one for PlayStation, it was actually the first engine that I ever used. I don't really consider it because it wasn't really coding. So I didn't really program my own games. I just sort of used a little engine and made characters that walked around and talked and everything like that. But that was the first experience with a game engine. That was a lot of fun too. That probably has a lot to do with my motivation, because it probably was what got me interested in making games. But I could play it up. I don't forget about RPG Maker, but I don't know. Like, anytime somebody asks me how I started making games and all that, for some reason I never think about it. But it probably played a big part into my decision to make games. I remember using a version on Windows with a patch to make it English. Let's talk about. Let's see. What are we talking about? Game engines were a thing when people started modding the Quake engine, and then Unreal released an editor with Unreal Tournament. Yeah. Good night, Potato. I like your art. Well, thank you. Have you tried to make your own Game Boy to play your own games? How cool would that be, I wondered? Like to make the actual Game Boy itself? That would be difficult, wouldn't it? Isn't there engines for making Game Boy games, though? I'm pretty sure there's an entire engine dedicated for making Game Boy games. I heard about it recently, I believe. I like that. What do y'all think of that? Maybe we push this guy up a little further. Had him nestled up under the thing here. GB Studio, they just had an update. I'll have to check it out because it you know, I would love to make my own Game Boy game. Yes, you make your own Game Boy hardware and play it on your home Game Boy cartridge. I mean, if that's what you're into. I would be interested in making my own Game Boy game, though. Maybe they meant like creating your own... Oh, yeah, maybe. I have wanted to make games. I installed Unity and started making the next Clash of Clans without knowing anything about game dev. Now I can make games in Godot. There you go. There you go. Alright. Yay, you're still alive. I had to go for a bit. Well, welcome back, bud. We're still drawing stuff, trying to figure out concepts. Okay. I like how that mushroom looks. I like the shape of that mushroom. It's really nice. I'm amazed by how many shades of brown you have. I can't tell if you're making a joke or what. I have made so many shades of brown for this game. It would be cool if it was glowing. We're gonna have some glowing mushrooms. Let's see. Now, probably not here. Probably not in this dungeon. I think that would be too vibrant for the aesthetic that I'm going for this area. We want a darker theme for this area. Is there a day-night cycle in the game? Not currently, but there will be, probably, more than likely. In fact, it was something I wanted to do this week because since I've got the lighting system, I'm thinking... Well, something else I was looking at was custom particles this week because I want to do a rain system to sort of set mood for things, because I've got the lighting system going up, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to have a raining system to go with it. So, but yeah, we'll figure it out. I was going to have mushroom forest in my game. That's what we're kind of going for. It's not just a dedicated mushroom forest, but there will be some mushroom things going on in this game, most likely. Rain would be really cool. I think so too. And I'm thinking I'll need to do my own particle system for the rain because, say this is a camera. I want the rain to spawn in probably randomly, actually. I was studying Stardew Valley's rain, and they have it to where like it can spawn in randomly. And what it'll do is it'll come in and move into a diagonal direction, and then once it hits, it'll animate, and then stop moving or anything. So we'll have to figure all that out. But I really like how that looks. I don't want to rip off of them exactly, of course, but it was something to study. Let's see. I love your art style in this game. Well, thank you. What color mushrooms are you going to have? I don't know yet. These are just temporary colors that I'm throwing down. Is that Pig Companion? It is. The first many streams are lost because of limited VOD. Yeah, with Twitch. Yeah, which is a shame, unfortunately, because those were pretty interesting ones. Those streams we lost on Twitch. I believe that was the entire inventory system that we lost. The pig is the mayor. You're going to end up confusing people. That is not canon. Oops. Yeah, you're funny. Chocolate truffles. There you go. We should have him jump in a batch of chocolate. What if you have a creature that runs down the stem of the mushroom to chase you? That could be interesting. So like mushrooms could serve like a spawner. We could do an animation of an enemy that runs down and spawns that way. That would be interesting. Can you ride the pig or kill it and eat it in case you go hungry in the wild? You cannot kill the pig. You cannot kill your pets. And squirrels, though, indeed. Let's see. I don't know why I want to kill the pets. Truffles is too cute. Let's see. Is there anything else we want to get established? I think these mushrooms look good. I really like the shape of this mushroom. I'm probably going to do more like this. Because this, it's alright, but it's not striking with me. I think I want to angle it down more. What are the stone blocks for? The stone blocks are just, like, this is a sort of temple style area, like a shrine. And so the stone blocks we're just experimenting with to try to find an aesthetic that we like. They're not guaranteed to be in there. We're playing around trying to find concepts right now. How about fall? Oh, right. Let's try that right quick. It's a good one. Now, I'm terrible with trees. Chunks included. But we can still try to figure it out. Welcome to the stream, Genji. Maybe a black line around the mushrooms? Yeah. Right. Well, we can go ahead and add one here. I'm not too concerned. I'm not, like, overall style is not a concern. I'm just, what does it look like? We're using a lot of our imagination right here. We're not getting into details. But yeah, we can throw an outline on that to see what that looks like. I think that looks pretty good, though. I'm pretty happy with that. Hey, I just found your channel and I already like your game. Keep up the great work and greetings from Germany. Well, welcome to the stream, bud. Glad you enjoy the channel. Is there going to be a boss at the end of the dungeon? There will be a boss. We will start designing him probably next week. Maybe. You should have a mushroom boss? No, it's going to be an undead boss because it's part of the story. The mushrooms is just to make the forest look really overgrown. Maybe hint at something, a mushroom theme later on. But the undead thing is the main reason we're here. Ooh, an undead mushroom. No, we should do some kind of undead mushroom boss. Add piles of bones outside the dungeon. We could do something like that. Now, part of me thinks that, like, piles of bone makes me think the necromancer should animate those. Make the mushroom boss a mini boss. We could do a mushroom mini boss. That is true. Maybe have the skeleton. Ooh, that is good. A skeleton with fungus growing on him. I really like that. I'm gonna make a note of that. Like this could be, because I'm thinking the boss probably be like sort of. We'll go with the undead skeleton bosses will probably be sort of like ancient beings, probably, and so that's really cool. An idea. Maybe add vines to this temple, like stone. We would probably do some vines. Let's get a log out of the way, though. Actually, since we're probably about to end the stream, maybe. Let's do a discussion right quick, if y'all want to. I need to design a bumper for my videos. So with what little time we have, would y'all be interested and helping to design the bumper for it? Like, what could we add for like a 2-second clip to show at the beginning of our videos? We probably want to have some kind of words. Does it have to be a he, not an undead queen who thinks mushrooms ate her children? Well, we certainly could do an undead queen. I like that too. Undead queen. I really like that idea. You don't see a lot of female bosses, do you? I think we should break that norm. We should have a few female bosses. All right. The pig. Pig will probably be in it. Let's see. Teddy pulling your name out of the oven. You mean like the intro? Yes, sort of like, so you know when I do my videos, I do about like roughly 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 seconds explaining the video, and then that little clip shows up. And it says, Game Endeavor, learn practical skills. That was from when I did tutorials. It's not really the case anymore. We need some kind of bumper to replace that. Something that relates to the game, tells you what the name of the game is, because some people are probably confused. I think 1920 by 1080. No, 180. Let's do that size and see if that works. We'll probably scale it up by 10, I'm thinking. A sword made of a mushroom. Ooh, we should add some mushrooms to it. Have the main character jump up with all the pets around him. Oh, we should have the pets. Maybe. You can add a mushroom pet. You can add a mushroom pet that you can find in the dungeon. Oh, maybe. Just found your stream to start. If it has been asked before, does a pig search for truffles? We don't know yet. The squirrel has to be there. Let's see. So let's get an idea. So I want... how do we want this to look? Video description doesn't seem right. What does the video description say? What are you drawing now? We are about to do... We're sort of discussing the logo right quick before we end the stream. Sort of getting ideas, not the logo, but the bumper for the video. Sort of getting ideas of what we could have. Tangents happen. Tangents do happen. I mean, it's, like I said, I'm about to end the stream here in a little bit. Just saying if y'all want to have any input on what we could add into this. Maybe you should add at the end or just not an Undertale reference. I have gotten that question a few times in all of my videos. It's weird. Truffle walks across the screen and reveals the title. Maybe. Let's see. Now keep in mind this needs to be about like 2 seconds long. So we can't have anything too fancy. A fox with a bow bouncing across the screen. How about a toy box that jumps out at you, but inside is a pet? Why is there a toy box? So it breaks chest and what? Teddy winking. Tell you what. Yeah. That's a good idea, Nikki. Let's make the logo first and then talk about the reveal. You're a shader wizard now anyway. Let's see. We could do something interesting with a shader. Because my current logo I made in Godot, so we could use some tricks with that. So yeah, let's talk about the actual logo for itself first. We need... What do we want to have for the text? We could have... and what kind of font style do we want? And this is, again, we're going to do this very concept style art. We're not going to do this right now. We're just sort of... That looks like the Zelda Z. Let's grab this to give us a background. Okay. Let's see. Also, I need a logo for documentation. Yeah. What about the player building the title? The player placing the title? Maybe the text like mossy and old out of stone. Interesting. Logo made in Godot. Animation player, yeah. Animation player, twins, all that fun stuff. Shaders. We could use all kinds of things. Off topic, just wanted to say hi and tell you that I love your work. Can I wish list your game already? Thank you. Not yet. I don't have a Steam page yet. I think I'm gonna wait until we do the demo and the Kickstarter and do all that at one time. Growing as a mushroom. I think it would be nice to implement mushrooms into the game, but the concern about that is that the player might think it's all about mushrooms, when mushrooms is going to be like a side thing that we might do. Just a little. I'm a little concerned about that because you tend to don't want, like, I think if we were to do a mushroom thing, it might muddy up the water a little bit as to the main story. But I think it would be nice to have a sub story, like a little secondary story that involves mushrooms. Oops. Let's see. The old man is there. If they're complaining about getting here, something about to give us a theme. Maybe we can use that for making the bumper and or title. Oh, I'm trying to think of a theme right now. Like, I like the idea of the stone. And sort of, I don't know. Trying to figure out like a layout for the letters. What kind of style do we want? I like the idea. Well, since it is about undead, we should probably do some kind of skeleton thingy. Like maybe oops. Actually, let's put this on. Here. But we'll probably do like a maybe a skull as in the decorations and kind of thing, because that is the big part of the game. It is a very, undead type thing. I don't know how I want to do this. I've never had to make something like this before, so it'll be fun to experiment with. What if the main bosses? We should also probably wait until we have the main boss because we could incorporate that, or at least the necromancer, maybe. I don't know. Maybe add a red mushroom as the Easter egg, and if the player eats it, there will be a text that don't eat mushrooms. Let's see. It would be cool if the letters were made out of bones. I'm thinking that too. Or be just like bone looking. Well, incorporate bones into it somehow. Maybe like an I don't know what you call it. Like a box or something. Bones. No, that looks silly. So let's go inside. Let's see. No. This is too long of a name to do. Way too long of a name for us to be spelling out, I think. So what if we just do Zoe? Does that make sense? The name Zoe is not standing out. I think the name is the most important part. So, yeah. Alright. What if we make this bigger too? Do we center it? bring it down. Let's see. Oh, you mean change the name? No. Make a series of Zoo in the games. That's sort of the idea, was like to give me the option to do that. I just came over. I haven't seen any other videos. What is happening? We are... you just, for the first time watching the live stream, like you have no idea what this channel's about. we are trying to make a... just design a logo for this game project. Spoiler, let's see. Center top, you think so? Or are you saying oof because I'm using center top? I think it looks alright. I'm not too keen on center. Center bottom might work. Tell us more about the game. It's a secret. If you're talking about lore-wise, you will find out more about it in the demo when we do that next year. March of next year. If you want to learn about what the game is, then I would suggest watching the devlogs. What is the main story of the game? Is there any reference like Zelda, Chrono Trigger? Yeah, watch the devlogs, man. Like, that's not what the point of this live stream is. It's not for me to explain the game. I've talked about what the game is in the devlogs. Center bottom with something related to the title above it. Maybe some clouds and stars in the nighttime feel. Center bottom. Everything slime. Slimes is not a part of the game though. Make text out like cobblestone and it's mossy. Maybe. I do like the stone feel. I feel like it's a little cliche though. That's my concern about it. But I do like the stone idea. Can you use Vim instead of Godot editor for a week? Why would I want to do that? Make the zero a cookie. No, it's not about cookies. To get the dreamlike feel. Oh, we should do, yeah. Feel of a dreamer world. That is true. How could we get a dream feel going? Let's go. What would be a good darker color than this? Because I would like to do some mossy type thing here. I'll have to look at logos. I've never designed a logo like this before, and so I'll probably have to get some references and motivations and all that. But I'm just trying to get an idea of what we could do, like the style and theme and that kind of thing. Let it fill a little apart, I think. Maybe some light shining down on the title while the background is black. Do we want black though? Black seems a little harsh. What about... And maybe... Are we using these for rocks, right? Dark blue like the night sky. Add the hook shot as an item. Seems very Zelda-like to have a hook shot. And I don't see a need for it. Oops, that is the wrong layer too. How about a perspective drawing with Zoe in a dungeon from the right and logo on the top left? Oops. Not sure how I feel about top left. I think you're making a big mistake using the name Zoe. Think about how many names that start with Z and where they're at now, besides Zelda. But I guess it's your funeral if you do. It will be my funeral, my friend. Where is orange? Is it dead now? I mean, it'll still be in the logo, but it's not going to probably be a thing of here. We're going with the flow right now. Maybe make it like night and a grass. Oh, that would be an interesting style. Have like a nighttime thing, some grass sort of like flowing and like a gentle breeze growing over across it. Maybe the player sort of what about the code logo? Is it carved into a cliff? Maybe. I like this idea of a nighttime where the player is just sort of chilling out. Maybe there's some dead skeletons sort of just laying off to the side, not in prominent view, but just sort of like, oh, something happened here, but the player is just sort of chilling out. Maybe. Maybe the player have a sit on the Z. I'm okay with the name Zobud. If it dies, if it is the death of my game, it'll be the death of my game. What's the dungeon thing? The dungeon. Oh, pardon me. The dungeon thing. We were just sort of playing around with it earlier, trying to get some ideas for decorations and stuff. We went with like ruins with some mushrooms and stuff. Right now, we're about to end the stream, and we're just sort of looking at possible ideas for a logo. Player sitting on the Z, maybe. Maybe the title in the right corner on the right side, it's just like 3 people sitting looking at. Okay. The player sitting on a cliff. Interesting. It's ruins into the text. Could do that. I was also thinking maybe like a cobble texture. Anyhow, I think I'm going to end it here. I'm about to stream again. I'm going to take a break, step out with my dog and everything like that. And then I will come back. I need to make a thumbnail for it. And I'm going to play the entries for the game, the Endeavor Jam that we did recently. So if you want to see that, stick around. It'll probably happen here in about 20 minutes or so, however long it takes me to make a thumbnail and all that other stuff. So it'll be really quick. So y'all take it easy, and I'll see you in a little bit if you're still here.